Hey all, and welcome to another review. I'm going to try and do things a little differently this time because I want to keep this a very short video compared to the other ones. I don't really have that much to say about these headphones. When it comes to build quality, I just want to say these are very solidly built, and they're very comfortable to wear for long periods of time. That is all I'm going to say about the build quality, and that it comes with several cables. This is the one that I'm going to showcase right now. But I really want to talk about the sound of this headphone. So the PM-3 confuses me. This is a confusing headphone because it doesn't I don't understand how it goes about presenting itself to the listener. It has better detail retrieval than other headphones that I've heard in this price range, but it's only brought out through amping because this is a planar magnetic headphone basically. It doesn't take a lot to amp this, by the way. I mean, you can get good volume out of your cell phone even, but it does sound very hollow out of your cell phone, or your smartphone rather. So in this price range, about $300-400, there's a big emphasis on that consumer sound. You know, you have the Urbanites, you have the Momentums, you have the really bassy headphones that most people like to listen to, the Bluetooth headphones and stuff like that. What the Oppo PM-3 does instead, it goes in another direction. So the bass has some speed to it, but it's muted. It's lower in impact. It has less impact, has less slam than pretty much any other headphone that I can hear in this price range, which is tuned for portable usage, and just in my opinion. Um, it has a very waffling sound in punchier genres where, like, kick drums, they don't sound right to me. They get, first of all, they get drowned in the mix, and even if they don't, you get a very feeble sound out of them, which leads to a sound just kind of tonally off. It's a bit too tonally off to sound realistic, but at the same time, it's too weak to sound like a studio construction drum machine usage, that sort of thing. So it kind of gets caught in the middle where it's just very, very lukewarm. Also, the sub bass extension does not go that far, but I wasn't too bothered by that actually. The slam and the lack of punchiness, the lack of life in the bass definitely bothers me. The lower mid range is not emphasized either. It's not dramatically or drastically dipped like it was in the Sound Magic HP 150 review that I did previously. What I really don't like about it is that it reduces one of my favorite instruments, acoustic guitars, to a very plasticky sound. And this means that there's a lower mid dip and they sound very tonally off, which bothers me because I play guitar myself. So it doesn't matter if I was listening to a recording of myself playing acoustic guitar using my MXL 990 microphone, which I'm using right now, or if it was a track from the Rumors album by Fleetwood Mac. It didn't matter. It could be either of them. Both the guitars sounded like they had like plastic bodies instead of the really deep resonant wood that I'm pretty sure they use in the Fleetwood Mac album. I really find this disappointing. But to the PM-3's credit, it does have a wide soundstage. Instrument separation from the right to left channel is very strong, but there doesn't seem to be much depth to it. In the imaging, it's very much, there's only one of three ways. You'll have an instrument you can hear on the far left, or the far right, or in the middle. There's no imaging it's very centered around these three poles. There's nothing in the middle of this. The mid-range itself is also a bit uneven, and quite often I find that instruments sound better to me. Some instruments sound better than other instruments in the mix. Hard pan vocals actually sound quite a bit decent, which makes listening to the Beatles on the PM-3 oddly really good. At least the 2009 remasters, the stereo ones, because of hard panning vocal tracks. Also, I found that Pink Floyd's The Wall album was a good listen on the PM-3 due to it not really requiring the most dynamic of headphones or the most punchy or bassy or any of those traits. It didn't. Just don't expect any of the sound effects used in The Wall. Like there's one song called "One of My Turns" with a car. The cars like they pan from the left channel to the right channel. Headphones with superior imaging can process this very well. The PM-3 really struggles. It kind of dips out and dips back in, and dips out and dips back in. Really awkward sounding panning. due to the poor imaging. The upper mid-range really seals the PM3's fate to me, however. I think not only does it lack air, but it leaves the above complaints of mine without redemption, and indeed renders this headphone to me as overall quite dead sounding. I'm not really someone who insists on having heightened presence in the air region. Like, I'm not someone who really insists on that. Like with the Atticus, I don't insist on that so much. But the problem is that this headphone is a lesson in just how many layers of dullness can be stacked on a headphone without there being a light on the end of the tunnel, without Superman of headphones rushing in to give it something to make it sound good in some regard. Because this headphone is just so mediocre from every angle that I look at it. In terms of sound quality, some headphones which have a dip in the air, okay, they'll have better bass presence, they'll have better mid-range characteristics, more accurate imaging, or better detail retrieval, that kind of thing. Not this headphone. This headphone has problems across the board to me when it comes to sound quality. So to sum up this frequencies overall, there's a random jump in the treble somewhere that actually manages to be quite sibilant at times, which is really out of place with the rest of this headphone. So things falling in that region are heightened, if not a little bit haunted sometimes, but the rest of the treble sounds in line with the rest of the headphone, just pretty much dull. So I find the dark, bright nature of the PM3 to be something that I can't quite overlook, which is a shame because once again these are very comfortable headphones, very light, at the price range where portable competitors are even less refined in their presentation, in their drive to showcase a certain type of sound signature. So the bassy consumer tune headphones, this isn't trying to be like that, but they stumbled in their approach, I think. To go against the grain, I have to commend Oppo for doing that, for doing something a bit different in this price range and with this form factor. But in my opinion, the existence of the Meze 99 Classics for around the same price, if not a little less, means that I would pick that headphone over this. I used to own those headphones, and I can vouch for those headphones in terms of they may not be perfect in terms of detail retrieval and stuff like that, but they have a very natural, realistic tone to them, even if they are a little bassy. The lower mids especially make acoustic guitars sound pristine in that price range, in my opinion. So for the Oppo to come along and do some things better, like detail retrieval does better than the Mezes, but it stumbles in every other way. Besides the soundstage width, I guess that too, and I guess comfort once again. But I can't pick this headphone over the Meze 99. I can't pick this headphone over some other headphones in this price range, which even include the HE400i by Hi-Fi Man, which is not really a portable can, but if you're just looking for sound quality in that price range, I just go for that instead of this. So ultimately, the PM3 is a headphone with confused identity to me. It's not tuned to emphasize bass or warmth, and it's not tuned to provide air or fine detail. The mid-range is uneven and dull, and then there's a sudden jump into treble that leaves me scratching my head. It comes with cables for smartphone use, but it sounds hollow out of a smartphone. But at least you can wear this for long periods of time, I guess. So this has been a bit of a different review, and I'm sorry for missing out on the build quality aspects. I believe that you can. It's pretty straightforward how these look. You can tell they're just built solidly, and they're very light and they're very comfortable. I wanted to focus on the sound quality primarily. Oh, and big thank you to Armand, who also sent me the EL8 for review, for sending me this for review. He has been supporting the channel, and this is the third headphone of his that I've reviewed, and big thanks to him. So to everybody else, thank you for checking out my new review, new format and all, and I will see you next time. Cheers.